What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome to the beatmajors.net. Welcome back to the part three of the three easy ways on how to master your beats. Whether you're in FL Studio, whether you're in Logic Pro, whether you're in Pro Tools, no matter what DAW you're in, as long as you understand mixing, and as long as you can, you have some type of DAW with mixing plugins, you can apply these same tricks and tips, to whatever DAW you're using out there. So again, like I said, welcome back. This is part three. This kind of closes out the 3-part series here. So we're back with basically, this is the end point. This is the end all be all. This is the last step in mastering your beats. So just to kind of recap, basically what we did was we touched on, headroom, we touched on stereo enhancement, and now, which is the final step, is mastering, the one piece of information that everyone wants to get to. I'm sure that everybody is at the edge of their seats trying to figure out, okay, we got all that, man, but how do we master now? But, the truth is, mastering really is just something that we'll never be able to achieve until we become mastering engineers. These steps that we're showing you are just steps to kind of get you to the point to where, you can take your beats to a mastering engineer and say, hey, I've done everything that I need to do. I need you to master this. But a lot of us in reality don't have money to get every single beat mastered, because it will become expensive. So like I said, these tips that we're showing you are just small steps to take before you do mastering on your own. So again, to kind of recap, we touched on headroom, which was just, leveling your instruments, leveling your sounds out to kind of get a good area in your mix to where now you can throw that, that mastering on, or you can throw on whatever other effects you need to put on without everything distorting, without everything being, loud and clipping. You don't want any clipping or loudness before you throw your mastering plugin on. And you want to have enough headroom so that when your mastering plugin does become, your last step, or you are on that last step, your track doesn't become cluttered. And when I say cluttered, I mean just, scrunched up. It doesn't become, everything's not taking up room in your mix. Everything has its own place in your mix. So that's one thing with the headroom. You just want to make sure everything has its place in the mix, whether you're EQing certain frequencies, whether you're separating certain frequencies, which would get us to the point of now, the next step, which was part 2 of stereo enhancement. You want to, start finding those instruments that don't belong directly in the middle of the mix. Some of them might need to be spread out. Some of the strings, some of the brass sounds, some of your piano. Sometimes, your sample might need to be enhanced. So those are just the extra steps that you want to take before mastering, which brings us now to the point of, like I said, end all be all. This is that final point to where you're like, bet, I'm done. Now it's time to give it to the world. So let's get into that. Let me get, not going on a full tangent about, mastering. Let me just kind of show you guys what I mean by all of that. So again, we've touched on headroom, which you can see, everything's leveled out. Everything's leveled to a nice point in the mix. We talked about stereo enhancement, which we went into certain instruments like the piano. We didn't do it on the piano, but we did it on, yes, we did. We did slight, but that was at the end of the chain. We didn't do it directly on the piano itself. We have it on a bus, which that bus has stereo enhancement on it. We did the strings, we did the brass, we did the sample. Yep, we enhanced the sample. And then that's pretty much it. We kind of just EQ'd and panned certain things to their own, place that they need to be in the mix. And that was pretty much it when it comes to headroom and stereo enhancement. Now that we've done all that, and we have our headroom, which I'll show you. Now, as I always tell you guys in every single video, or at least try to stress the fact that nothing's ever going to be perfect, and I don't want you guys to take these tips and be like, "Oh, this is the way you do it," or I don't want you to feel like we're saying that this is the way to do it, because it's not an exact way. Everyone has their own way of achieving the sound that they have. This is just, again, steps to take to get you to that point to where you're like, okay, I'm understanding. Now I can take these tips and apply them to what I'm doing, and everything will sound, or I will start to build my own sound in the way things sound. So what we want to do, as you saw, the mix, everything was sitting right here at 3. It kind of went over a little bit sometimes on certain things when certain instruments hit at the same time. Sometimes it'll go over. That's something that you just want to go in and just kind of fix on your own and kind of figure out, okay, which instruments are causing this to clip over where I want it to sit at. So like I said, you want things to be at 6. That's a good starting point. 6 dB is a good starting point for headroom. If you're at 3, yeah, it's okay. Don't stress it if you can't get it to stay at 6 and really be where you want it to be. If it does go up to 3, cool. I mean, hey, that's fine. As long as at the end, nothing's scrunched up and crunchy and just like it's sounding like it's hitting a brick wall. So again, as you see, it kind of clipped over when the double snares hits, meaning that I want to say there's not enough compression on the snares, but I didn't want to overkill the snares. So like I said, it's sitting at 3, which is okay. That's fine. What you want to do is, after you've got your headroom, now, if you remember in the last videos, we sent certain things. We have the sample going to a bus, and then we have the, every instrument, except the sample, going to this music bus. And with this music bus, we put on some stereo enhancement, and we made sure that anything hitting 30 hertz and under is going to be mono. It's mono no matter what. Anything past 30 hertz, it's going to be whatever it is. If it's sitting on the left or sitting on the right or whatever, any of the frequencies 30 hertz and below, it's going to be mono. With the stereo width, this isn't going based off of frequency, it's going based off of percentage. So we're percent wise, we're at 161 as far as an overall enhancement. So we've already done enhancement on the instruments, but sometimes it doesn't give it that full effect. So we put it on a bus just to kind of enhance more, or just to kind of I can't think of the word, but we just want to make sure that those certain instruments that are spaced out are definitely enhanced like they're supposed to. And again, the sounds that are mono, which, your bass, your kick, your drum break here, your crash, certain instruments are going to be all mono. We're going to make sure that those frequencies are staying mono. So now that we've got our headroom set up, what we do is we add what's called the L2 stereo, which comes with the Waves bundle. So if you have the Waves bundle, applaud to you for that. This is one of the things that we use. It's the Ultra Maximizer. Not too much going on. I know a lot of guys use the other ones. There's like the L2, the L3, the L2. I forgot what they're called, but some of the other ones have like EQ on them, compression, things like that. This is just basically a maximizer or a limiter. So it only limits what we did. It brings it back up to a specific level and then keeps everything at that level. So I'm going to kind of show you, I'm going to toggle through and kind of show you guys what this plugin is actually doing itself. And as you can see, you can kind of see where it's compressing at. It's compressing and bring it back down to about 3 dB. Basically, what's happening is when the kick and the snare are hitting it, I'm noticing that's really when it's getting, touched. That's really when it's being like, okay, stay down, stay down, stay down. So sometimes you might have to go in and just kind of fix certain things to make sure that they're not, going too hard. Like I said, 3 is a good area to be at. If you can keep it down to 6, this here isn't what I mean. I mean, like right here, as far as your master channel, when things are hitting, you want to keep them at 3. And as you see, it's only really picking up the kick and the snare when it brought everything back up to life. So it brought everything back up to 0. So without it, it sounds like this. And with it, it sounds like this. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, where's your EQ, and, where's your compression, or, other effects that you might put in before you master it. Well, I've already done all those effects before sending them to a master, so I don't have to worry about it now. I'm good now. We've already taken care of all of what we needed to take care of before we sent it to a master track. So, hope this helped for you guys, man. Like I said, this isn't something that you guys have to follow. This is just something that, this is just tips, just starting points for you guys, so that when you get to mastering your tracks or your beats, you'll kind of know, okay, let me start here from what they were talking about. Let me use this EQ, or let me build this headroom, or let me enhance these certain instruments just to kind of see how they sound. Let me throw this L2 on the master so I can kind of get an idea of what things are supposed to sound like. So I hope this helps. Again, I hope you guys found some value in this video. And until next time, peace, guys.